When I bought this Civic 2 years ago, it had zero interior. And I don't mean that metaphorically. It came with a ripped up driver's seat, a steering wheel, and some door panels. It didn't even have any carpet. And over the last 2 years, I've been working really hard to find the right interior for this car, including spoon racing seats, a Sparco quick disconnect steering wheel, and OEM plastics. But we're not done yet. Today we're going to be doing a few things inside the Civic to make it look so much cooler. So stick around and learn some do's and don'ts of how to work your interior. My name's Hovey, this is Slow Car HQ. Let's get to it. Now we're going to be focusing on the top half of the car today, and the very first thing that we got to do to our very nice interior is rip it apart. Okay, so now that the interior is gutted like all Civics should be, no, we can actually start working on this stuff. Let's get it inside. Okay, we're up on the balcony with all the parts that we just stripped from the Civic, and we're going to be doing a couple of different things. If you couldn't tell, we're going to be rewrapping our headliner because this is old, gray, and nasty, and then we're going to be painting these parts. Now, a lot of people would tell you that painting interior panels is a bad idea, and they'll say that the paint won't hold up. And that's partially true because the oil from your hands is going to get on these panels, and the paint's going to start to fall off. However, these are side panels. It's a really low contact area in the car, and with the right amount of prep that we're going to do today, these will turn out awesome and they're going to last a long time. Let's get to it. Paint doesn't stick to dirty parts, so the very first thing that we're going to do is just grab any kind of cleaner that you've got, maybe with a degreaser in it, and start scrubbing this stuff down. It is a good idea if you have some kind of isopropyl alcohol to rub these on the parts as well. We're just trying to knock off any dirt or contaminants that could get caught in the grooves of the texturing. Now that our parts are clean, we're ready to paint, and we're just going to need two products, a plastic adhesion promoter and a black vinyl paint. This adhesion promoter works in a really similar way that primer would, just for plastic, and it's going to promote the adhesion capability of the plastic so that our paint has a really nice surface to cling onto and stick there for a long time. We sprayed 2 quick coats, and now we're ready to move on to our actual paint, and we're using a black paint by Duplicolor that is specifically curated for plastic and interior panels, so make sure you pick that up. This stuff is a lifesaver. First coat, we're just going to do a little bit of a tack coat, make sure that everything's sticky. Then we're just going to slowly start adding more and more coverage until we're satisfied with how these parts come out. For me, that took about 3 coats, but we are using black. If you're using a different color, it might take you more coats to get the desired result. And we're going to repeat that process on the rest of our interior panels. Just a couple of quick coats of that adhesion promoter, then spray it with black until it comes out the way you want it, and we're good to go. Alright, we let these parts cure overnight and they turned out incredibly. Whoever told you that you can't paint interior parts, show them this video and let them know they were wrong. You were wrong! You just gotta do it right. Alright, with those pieces painted, we can turn our attention to the headliner. And headliner material is really fragile because it's basically cardboard with fiberglass woven into it. If you guys are doing this at home and your headliner is anything like mine, it's just a little bit cracked and we do have to address that before we can wrap it. So we picked up this fiberglass kit from O'Reilly that comes with everything you need, and honestly, this is pretty simple. You're gonna take some of the fiberglass resin, squeeze a few drops of the hardener, and then mix it together. Now you do have a time limit once you activate this resin, so go ahead and start brushing it to the affected area. You want just a nice even coverage coat over where you're gonna be spreading this. Then you're going to grab the fiberglass cloth and you're going to lay this over the affected area, and this is going to be what adds the structural rigidity that we're looking for. You're going to lay this on that resin that you laid directly on the panel, and then you're going to lay more resin over the top of this. Now, the chemical catalyst here is going to make that fiberglass super strong, and the cloth is going to give it the structural rigidity. People that are better at fiberglass than me would tell you that this looks ugly, and I would tell them that it's going to be pressed up against the roof of a Honda. This part doesn't need to look very good. I did do a couple of coats and I just gooped that resin on there so that I know for a fact that this will be structurally sound. Now, to any of you that may not have eyes, this turned out fantastic, but to the people that can see this, I'd remind you it's going against the roof of a Honda. Now that that's taken care of and cured, we can turn our attention towards the headliner. The first thing that we got to do is strip the old headliner off. And what you're going to do is just very carefully, because you don't want to damage the backing of the headliner, just peel up a corner and start working your way down. Now, there's usually a lot of adhesive and glue behind it. This Civic didn't have a lot of that, which is mildly concerning, but it made for a little bit easier of a disassembly. Now we're disassembled and we're ready to lay the new headliner material. I did go ahead and fiberglass the other side of that crack just for some safety. I took some rough measurements before we started this process, but now that we have the headliner ready to go, it's a good idea to lay this material down and really dial in how much material you're gonna need. I laid it down, stretched it out, laid it all thin, and then did some additional cutting so we can get a suitable workpiece, make it a little bit easier for us to lay this down. Now we're laying the material down, and I'm doing this in 2 halves to make it just a little bit easier. We're gonna start by just dousing the board in Permatex adhesive for a headliner. You can use 3M, they make some pretty good stuff too, but don't be shy with this stuff. Use the entire can, use an extra can. You wanna make sure that you have 110% coverage. Once you're sure you've got enough glue on there, go ahead and add a little bit more, and then you're ready to carefully lay the material on. You want to just kind of lay the material over the top, and then just like you would a wrap or vinyl or a tint, you want to start at the middle, work your way out, making sure that there's no overlap or creases. Okay, so now that the Civic is back to its formerly gutted state, which is actually not true because we still have both seats, we have Dynamat, we have carpet, we got a lot going on in here. But now that it's a little bit more gutted than it used to be, I'm taking it for a quick test drive to see if I can remember what it's like. And guys, this is terrible. Stop gutting your Civics. Unless you guys are building like a dedicated track car, there is no reason to gut your interior. Look, this is Slow Car HQ, all right? It's not like we're building something that's actually fast on the road. And removing, 20 pounds worth of carpet from your car is not going to make a huge difference in horsepower. With this interior gutted, I mean, you can hear all the road noise. You can hear every little rock. We're sitting on Megan Racing suspension, so everything's a little bit stiffer anyway. You can really feel the fact that we don't have air conditioning. But guys, in my opinion, a good interior is a really good investment, which is why we've been doing so much work to ours. Let's go check it out. All right, guys, that was a ton of work, but it wasn't all that hard. We got the headliner on the cardboard backing, and it might stick for a while. We'll see. But we got a couple holes cut out for some of the inserts that go in here. We got it stitched down to the back so it'll have a tighter hold. I think we're ready to put this in the car. Oh, and I forgot to mention, we also got an armrest and center console from an Integra, and we had a ton of fun with this center console lid. So if you want to see how we made it look so nice, check us out on TikTok, Slow Car HQ. A lot of good stuff today. We got the headliner done. We got the console ready. We're ready to throw the car back together. I'm going to see you guys when we're done. Guys, our Civic interior has made such a major improvement. The suede headliner looks awesome. We got that ugly gray vinyl out of here. The A pillars and the B pillars look so much sicker being painted a nice glossy black to match the rest of the interior. And I'd love to say that I can go out and enjoy this interior, but last night when I was moving it, my tie rod decided to go Bluetooth. So I guess we got to fix that too. That said, if you guys want to see more content like this, working on our Civic, our Monte Carlo, our OBS, and our 1970 Chevelle, hit that follow and join the next big car channel on YouTube, Slow Car HQ.